So guys, got a really great drill here which is going to help you with a complex movement, which is how does that shoulder, the right shoulder in particular, move on the downswing. What we're going to look at is how you can get the feeling for the direction you need it to move in that's going to give you more consistency. So I'm going to look at a really simple drill that's going to allow you to get the feeling for how your right shoulder moves through the ball. We know that the right shoulder can move in 3 directions. The 3 directions are from that top of the backswing, it can move outwards, it can move downwards, and it can move forwards towards the target. So it's got 3 distinct directions, and it's a blend of all 3. But obviously we all tend to have a little bit of a predominant fault, and we have one that we don't do as well as the others. Sometimes it can be 2, but most times it's generally 1. What we're going to have a look at is this drill that's going to make it really easy for you to work at that one specific area. Got a TheraBand, I'm going to have it set up against a tree, okay? It's easy to do it against a tree because the reality is we've all got trees on the practice ground or near us. If you're going to practice this at home, tie it to a door handle. It has to be something stable. I've personally tried it in the past to use it as on an alignment stick and getting a feeling for it, but it's bending about, it's slipping about, getting hit with the elastic. It's just not getting the desired feedback because the surface isn't, or the unit isn't strong enough. Whereas a tree or a door handle is absolutely ideal for you to help get that feeling. So we've got the band set up on the tree over here. You haven't just switched over and come to some nature channel. This is going to help your golf game. It's not that we've just come into the trees to get ourselves associated, acquainted to nature. That's not what we're doing. So I've got the band tied around the tree, up on the arm here. Now you can see why I want it on the tree, because if this was a band on a stick, it's going to be bending and flicking back at you. So what I like to do is have it on that right arm. First thing is just do a rehearsal with just the right hand alone so your left isn't getting in the way. So you're going to take this to the top of the swing, and once I'm at that top of the swing now, as I make that transition, I'm going to feel where that band's wanting to pull me, and for me it feels like the shoulder's moving directly at the tree. If you come over the top, what you want to do is feel like you're resisting the shoulder so it can drop down. If you get trapped, so i.e. you're too far from the in to out, you want to feel how that shoulder can be pulled a little bit forwards with the band. You might even want to do it as a slight angle, so a bit more here so you can feel how it's pulling you forwards. So it's got multiple directions that it can be used on. So if you get trapped this way, you can use the band because it's going to pull you forwards. If you are really struggling by being over the top, feel like it's resisting you, or if you're like me and you need to cover it, use it this way and feel how it's going to cover it. Then what I do is, for me, if I get the band this way, although it feels really good in terms of where I get it at the top of the backswing, I just have to be aware that it's going to make my shoulders feel a bit closed at address. So I really have to push that down quite aggressively with my left arm at address. It's building against the tension, but it feels great at the top. So it's just making sure that you're aware of it, or even just slightly changing the angle, which I've done now. So what I'm going to do is put both hands on the club, take this to that top of the backswing. Now from here, get that feeling of how I make the transition, and how that right shoulder's now been pulled forward by the band. I really feel like I could be on top of the ball, and that right shoulder is helping me cover it and get more right arm pressure down. What I'm going to do now is see if I can recreate that feeling whilst hitting the ball, and therefore then explain how you can build this into your practice session, which will give you the tangible feedback, which means that you can then start to own this movement in your golf swing. So understanding the uniqueness of my golf swing is that I don't always get the right shoulders on top of the ball as I'd really like to through impact. Sometimes it stalls out a little bit, which means my arms can extend. So thinking about that and getting the feeling back from the tree that I just worked at, which is getting that shoulder forwards. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a ball and get a feeling of how that shoulder is going to travel through the shot. So I'm going to hit a little 3/4 one, really working at that feeling of getting that right shoulder to work past the ball through impact. The key is that you've got that feeling, so I'm now recreating it. It feels like it's going past the ball and towards the target. That is my unique feel. So here we go, let's see what we can get right here. So really did quite well there in terms of getting the shoulder to get right through it. I was quite pleased with how that felt in terms of it moving through. Didn't feel quite as exaggerated as it did on the band, so I'll probably need to go back to that to learn that feeling. But I'll build that into my practice session, which is going to be unique to how I'm going to try and make these swing changes, which is going to be unique to what you guys are doing, because everyone's swing's different. It's understanding what the feel is for you. get the feeling from the band, be able to put that in place right here, and then it'll be really, really easy to be able to start to take that, build it into your practice session, and eventually take that on the golf course with you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thanks for watching, and talk with you again very soon.